lot of big announcements in the weeks and months to come, which will, of course, be followed upon. We're talking about integration of AI in our regular life. So whether that's how we create, plan, budget, travel, even play soccer.
Yes, yes.
So I just want to get an insider's perspective. What in between these give you the most optimism, the most excitement going forward? What excites you the most from some of the big announcements that we saw today?
Well, thank you, by the way. Glad you're here, and I hope you're enjoying the buzz and excitement of this place. We're very excited about the fundamental progress we've made in our Gemini program. Mm-hmm. If you notice in the announcements today, sure, we highlighted the fact that it is an incredibly natively multimodal model. It has long context, which is spectacular. In fact, we actually upped the game there. We went from 1 million tokens to 2, yeah, right? The multimodality is amazing. And then we started to show some of the agentive capabilities in these models. So if you take those 3 things, we tried to show them everywhere. So you saw the examples in search, what you can now do with search. You saw the examples on Pixel. Mm-hmm. You saw the examples in Workspace, in Google Workspace. The examples in YouTube. Mm-hmm. So we're excited about the fact that now we're starting to bring these incredible advances to all of these products that our users love and use every day, but also more importantly to developers. Because if developers can build on these and rely on these tools, they're going to do amazing things. I'm always excited by the fact that, by the way, that I don't know if you know this, the biggest sign-ups we have in our AI studio for developers are from India.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you know this. Sorry.
I didn't know that.
Indian developers are using these tools. We love that. We're excited about that.
In fact, we saw a very potent example as well as a part of that presentation about how the developer community in India is responding to some of these tools. So that's exciting to learn. One aspect that you made a reference to was generative AI. That is causing a lot of excitement, at least amongst the fellow journalists that I've been speaking to, about VO, about Imagine. I mean, turning text prompts to video to images. I think that is expected to revolutionize the content creation space. I'm in conflict when I say this. I'm from the media. So there's a lot of changes coming. Can you tell us more about that?
We're very excited about VO. We're very excited about Imagine 3. VO in particular, I think, takes all the incredible innovations we've had in a whole range of the models that we have, from Lumiere to Finanki and Irinaki, and puts them all together. What we're trying to do is to put them in the hands of creators who are trying to make films. You probably saw the example of Donald Glover, who's working on this to actually develop a film. So we have a lot of creators who are starting to play with these tools and see how they can be assisted. Very excited about that. Same thing with Imagine 3, our latest video model. So I think the generative aspects in media are extraordinary. I also hope you got to see Project Astra, which I think is probably getting a lot of the excitement from here. But that's the power of what these models can do. I think the key, quite honestly, is our experience so far has been when you bring in developers and creatives and others to come work with these tools and give us feedback and also start creating with them, I think, it's extraordinary. The product gets better, the technology gets better, the creators get a lot out of it, they get to do extraordinary things. In some cases, things that they couldn't do without these tools. That's exciting.
Let me just ask a supplementary question. When we speak of image generation, video generation, more recently, there was a lot of conversation that was had about Google, about Gemini, in terms of the accuracy of the responses, especially visuals. Is that something, is that a challenge going forward, or is that something that's an ever-evolving concept that you need to keep working on?
One of the important things to keep in mind with generative technologies is these are predictive machines. They're predicting the next thing. So yeah, of course, when you apply these to generating outputs, they won't always get it right. So part of what we have to do, and we've been doing, is to make sure, are we doing enough red teaming? Are we doing enough evaluations? Can we use more innovative techniques? So you probably heard me mention today of the amount we're doing in red teaming, but we're now also doing what we've been calling AI-assisted red teaming to try to make sure the outputs are correct. So for now, what we've done is we've put our generative media outputs, images, into labs, Google Labs, which is an experimental surface for us, and we're addressing and fixing some of the things in our mainstream products. That's why right now Gemini app isn't generating images, because we need to make sure we get that right. But I think it's going to be important to realize that as these technologies advance, we're constantly going to have to come up with more and more and better techniques to red team them, to make them safe and responsible. Sure. I think that's fundamentally important.
You mentioned the phrase getting it right. On the flight here, I was watching your conversation with your good friend, Mr. Friedman. And that's another phrase that you've used previously as well, getting it right. In trying to maximize AI, we've seen AI, a lot of use cases we're seeing across the campus today. In terms of getting it right, what does that mean in terms of maximizing the benefit? One, at a civilizational level, for the economy, for the larger society, and two, at the narrower micro level of an individual.
I think getting it right for us, in broad strokes, refers to two things. We need to get it right to make sure we address the risks and complexities of this technology. The other part of it is make sure we actually maximize the benefits so that everybody benefits. And I think when I think about the benefits for this technology for people, it happens at the individual level, people trying to be creative, imaginative, their everyday tasks, all of that. But it's also when it comes to powering the economy. Small entrepreneurs, small businesses, all the way to transforming sectors and whole economies. That's why I love what India has done with your infrastructure, digital infrastructure. I think that's an example of societal scale transformation of a technology to benefit the economy. So we think about getting it right in that sense. We also think about getting it right in terms of the advances you can have in science and societal benefits. I'm actually proud, by the way, that one of our most impactful things we're doing is on flood forecasting. Do you know where that project started? Our India research team started that project. In fact, we started our flood forecasting work was actually pioneered by our Google Research Indian team, and we used it there, and now we're doing it in 93 countries. So I think getting it right is about how do we make sure we get the benefits at the individual level, economy, societal level, to benefit everybody, at the same time address the risks and complexities. That's what getting it right means to us.
You mentioned flood forecasting, and you mentioned the use of digital infrastructure that India is doing to overcome the physical gaps in the infrastructure. Is this the way forward when we're speaking of the use of AI to address challenges, whether it's health, whether it's weather forecasting, drought management? Can you give us a sense of the applications of this AI when we're looking at an economy and geography like India and the challenges that it faces in terms of infrastructural deficit?
I think the possibilities are enormous. Let me say at two levels. I think when you look at the possibility of this technology advancing societal challenges, we've actually done some work looking at the SDGs. And we actually published a paper on this. So the possibility to advance many of the SDGs is very, very high. I can tell you some of the things we're doing. So we're working on things like flood forecasting, which has to do with almost climate adaptation. We're working on things like food security. We're working on applications to health. There are many places, and I imagine India is similar, where many countries in the global south, they don't always have access to not everybody has access. So this technology can help with access to maternal health information. We've done work on diabetic retinopathy, for example, to help people in places that don't have access. So the possibilities from a health, climate adaptation, from the point of view of addressing food and food security, I think are enormous. And we've done a lot of work in those areas. But I think the opportunities are phenomenal.